when Trump went to go visit the president of Mexico, I explained yesterday that it was a smart move for him because it would soften up his hard edges a little bit. Now, he's not actually trying to get Latino voters, and boy, did he prove that with his immigration speech only hours later. But I explained why he would bother to go to Mexico in the first place. So let's watch that first. But what he's trying to do, and why I think this was a big win for him, is he's trying to tell those white voters that are a little bit on the fence on it with him, don't worry, I'm not racist. Like, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for some of you to go to work the next day and say that you voted for a racist. So I'm just giving you enough of a fig leaf to say that, no, he's not racist. He went down to Mexico and called them spectacular. So now we're going to go to those white right-wingers that he's trying to appeal to, like Sean Hannity. So was that the strategy, and did you like it? Hey, I'm going to go to deal with the president of Mexico and see, I don't hate Mexican people. I'm standing next to one right here. Then later I'm going to give a speech saying, we got to get him out. We got to get him out. Did you like that strategy, Sean? Watch.
As I analyze not just the speech, but analyze him with President Nieto earlier today, Laura, it seems that this probably turned out for Donald Trump to be a pivotal moment, and I would argue probably the best day of his campaign. He looked presidential in Mexico. He gave a powerful speech. He laid out a very powerful case. He compared and contrasted his vision on immigration versus Hillary's. He talked about the cost, the impact, criminal justice system, healthcare system, educational system. He talked about how it has impacted families like those angel moms behind him. Very powerful day, I would argue, for him.
So, seems to have hit its intended target. And I'm not the only one saying that. Now, I told you yesterday that all he was trying to do was appeal to white people. Now, here's Corey Lewandowski on CNN, his former campaign manager, not only agreeing, but basically saying, yeah, of course, that was our intent all along. Watch.
Look, I think Donald Trump's message tonight was the message that he started with back on June of 2015, which was America first. That's what he believes and what he is playing to. And if you look at the polling data, he's got about an 18-point lead in the demographic of white males who are voting in this election. They have a high propensity of voting, and so he's got about an 18-point lead on Hillary Clinton in that particular demographic. This speech is clearly geared at those individuals right now to make sure that they are there. He's locked them in for the election, and now he's going to have to go and expand. There's no question about it. But this speech right here, America First, is something that has got him to this point, and he's doubled down on it tonight.
Doubling down on white males. Now, who else is going to like this? Well, the extreme right wing. Oh, and Coulter, she's back. She did that book launch about how she's always going to support Trump, and then Trump intimated that he might not have a deportation task force. He might go soft on this issue. She was furious. Then she hears this speech. She's like, oh, the Fuhrer is back. I mean, the Fuhrer of angry white people. So she writes in, wow, this doesn't sound like softening. Go Trump! She says, I think I'll watch this speech every night before going to bed so that I will sleep like a baby. Okay, that's the last thing anybody wants to think about. But anyway, then she quotes him, there will be no amnesty. Our next president. She, by the way, these dozens of these quotes, you know, just pleasuring herself to the idea of this hateful speech. And then finally, of the ones that we picked, she says, I hear Churchill had a nice turn of phrase, but Trump's immigration speech is the most magnificent speech ever given. Ann Coulter often talks about how we have to fight against the browning of America. If you made this virulent, admitted racist happy, you give a good sense of where you were going with the speech. Now, she who doesn't admit she's a racist, she just says, oh, I don't think we should brown this country. And I don't think we should let brown people in as much. I think that's kind of the definition of racism. Okay, so she's ecstatic. Congratulations, Donald Trump. Now, she's not the only racist who loves this. Richard Spencer is from the National Policy Institute. In fact, he's their president. Let me tell you what they're all about. National Policy Institute is a white nationalist think tank. You know what they said? Trump is back. Jared Taylor is the head of American Renaissance. He's their editor, and that is a white nationalist publication. He says, hell of a speech, almost perfect. And David Duke, of course, the former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, rated the speech as, quote, excellent. Gee, I wonder who Donald Trump was going for. Well, the thing with Trump is at least he doesn't have dog whistles. He doesn't do subtlety. He doesn't do nuance. When he's going to be racist, he just does racist. So even these knuckleheads are like, oh, that's not a dog whistle. That's a human whistle. I hear it. Yes! Racism. We're back. Well, now you know who he's going for. If you're not in that group and you think he's on your side, I've got some bad news for you. At the Young Turks, we believe in change. We believe we can change the media, make it more independent. Come do it with us. tytnetwork.com/join.